So Nat, tell us a little bit about what neurofeedback is.
Great. So exactly as you mentioned, Georgie, we take advantage of the brain's ability to mold and adapt in response to its environment, which is known as neuroplasticity. So it works on two premises. We're looking at conditioning and using operant conditioning, which is the psychological principle behind it. And as we said, neuroplasticity, which is the brain's ability to adapt to any change that it gets. So how neurofeedback works is a person will come in and they'll have their assessment done, and then they come for a series of sessions. And in their sessions, they will receive feedback, literally, on how well their brain is doing over that session. So what we're doing is we're regulating brainwaves and restoring smooth brainwave oscillation patterns for them. So it's relatively easy for the person. They come in and they sit down and they watch a movie. There are various other things that we can do as well, so you can get the person to actually do stuff if you need them to.
And does that affect the different pathways of the brain?
Yeah.
Like what people do? Okay.
Absolutely. So, but what we're looking for is we want them to have some kind of feedback. So the general thing is that you would watch a movie of your choice, or let me say a movie that I have on.
Yeah. We can't just go in and choose.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then so you watch a movie and you receive feedback through that. So your brain, you are receiving real-time feedback of how your brain is behaving and responding, depending on whatever area we're working on in the brain, which is fantastic. Then at the end, so what will happen is as they're watching, the screen shrinks, goes in and out, and the sound also modulates, goes up and down. And also the screen shrinks and goes small and grey and white. And there's also other protocols where there's a sound that's played in the background as a reward stimulus to the brain.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, and there's a sleeping protocol and stuff as well. So there are various protocols that we design.
So your brain responds to the inputs,
yes,
which you then monitor and...
Exactly. So just like you walked in here and you sat down on the chair, you didn't have to look and see. Your brain figured out, you didn't have to look and see the height of the chair. So your brain figured all of that out for you very, very quickly. And it allowed you to move effortlessly through your environment. So in neurofeedback, what we're doing is allowing the person to see and understand their own brainwave patterns. And we're restoring, as we said, beautiful, calm, smooth oscillation. And when we do that, the cognitive and emotional and psychological things that they are perhaps experiencing diminish or disappear completely. So
that's incredible.
Yeah, so that's the premise. So what we are actually doing is training the brain.
Okay.
And training the brain, just like we do with our horses. In fact, somebody said to me the other day, this is a bit like clicker training.
I was just going to say, when you said a reward stimulus, there's that great episode of Big Bang Theory where he every time Penny lowers her voice, she gets a chocolate. So as you were saying that, I was like, that would work for me. That's great.
Damn, I'm going to have to buy chocolates now.
Exactly.
But what really happens is the person becomes aware of what's going on and what's going on in their own emotional state. And in riding, that's really key. It's really pivotal for us to be able to understand a whole myriad of things at the same time. But one in particular is my emotional response and my adaptation to that. So it's not that I'm not going to be stimulated ever again in my life. I will be. But it's how I recover and how quickly and effectively I work through that, the negative stimulus or the fright that I get or whatever it is.
So it's giving people a better pathway to dealing with triggers,
absolutely,
traumas.
Yeah, absolutely.
So instead of having a reaction, you can have a response. You can have
absolutely. And in that, so that's what we always say. You know, it's really good if we have a calm brain, we have a much more efficient brain. So then I have so many more tools that are there. But when I'm really nervous or I've got a big fright, it's difficult for me to access them at that time. So it's not that they're not there. They're there, but it's usually my fright response. And of course, then I've got adrenaline and ephedrine and all these things flirting around in me as well. So what neurofeedback does is it helps the person, as we said, have beautiful, smooth, calm brainwave oscillation patterns. And when they do that, they literally respond in a better way.
It's almost like turning off that white noise in your brain, I suppose, and giving you a chance to focus. And
have a better
response.
Okay.